Hi guys, I've had a lot of questions on how to remove gel polish, so today I'm going to be soaking off this gel manicure. I've had this on for a full 2 weeks and it actually wore pretty well, as you can see on my left hand. Not quite as well on my right hand, but most of these chips are just from the past couple days. Unfortunately, while I was packing up and hauling my luggage all around the airports, I did manage to break a couple nails, which seems to be kind of an unfortunate vacation tradition for me. So once I get everything removed, I'll see how bad the damage is and decide whether I want to patch them or cut them down. But that will be toward the end of the video, and so if you'd like to see the soak-off process, just stay tuned. I've actually done this a couple times so far, and it's really not too bad, although you do have to have a little bit of patience to do it correctly. This is, of course, for the pink Gelac. That's the brand that I use. Different brands may have slightly different instructions, and I initially looked it up on their site. They have a video on how to remove it, and they recommend starting off by filing off the shiny layer to get to the gel underneath. So especially with the chrome, it's pretty easy to tell when you've gotten through the top coat. And so I've just got a regular nail file, and I'm going to be using the coarser side to just basically file off through the top coat. And as long as you're, like I said, patient and careful, you know, you're not getting down to your nail, you're not damaging anything by filing this off. Just be patient. And I'm not going to do most of this on camera just because this is a really awkward angle for doing it. But you can see kind of how quickly I've gotten through the chrome in that spot down to the blue. And I'm just going to repeat that on all of my nails. You see I've broken the top coat on all my nails. I've got them all as dull as possible, although you can still see a few little glossy areas. And those will be the areas from my previous experience that will end up being a little bit more stubborn. So the next step is the actual soaking part, and since it does take a while, and I'm going to be using pure acetone just to kind of keep my hands from completely drying out, I'm going to use some California mango stuff. It's kind of like a little greasy nail, what is this, mango mend. I don't know what it actually is, but it'll keep my hands from getting completely dried out. I've got some strips of cotton and these little clampy things. If you don't have these, you can also just go ahead and use tinfoil, like the glitter soak-off method. But I found that these are just kind of handy and easy to use. And there is a little trick that I like to do with them because they do bend at kind of an angle. What I'll do is basically stick the cotton ball on my finger and then bend it to the underside of my finger. Hopefully you guys can see that. And then apply it. And it helps it to just kind of stay on there with a little bit more even pressure. So I do one hand at a time just so that I can still have a hand able to do stuff, surf the web, or do something. Because otherwise, I mean, can't do too much with these on. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave this first hand to soak for at least 15 minutes, and then I'll be back. I actually went longer than 15 minutes, more like 20 minutes. I may end up needing even a little bit longer. We'll see when we take these off. So unclip the clip and then take off the cotton. And you can see I actually do still have quite a bit left over. Now sometimes you can kind of flake it off with an orange stick. And you can see a few pieces came off. And I choose an orange stick over a metal tool just to kind of be a little bit more gentle on the nail. But it's still on there pretty stubborn, so I'm actually going to, you can either reuse the existing cotton or just get a new piece of cotton and some more acetone, and I'm going to soak it for another 5 or 10 minutes. Could get different results on different nails. It really depends on how much you filed of the top coat. The top coat seems to be the stubbornest part of the gel. So you can see this one, I'm able to, there we go, peel up some bigger chunks. And this one will probably only need about 5 minutes, and since it is coming up so much better, instead of a new piece of cotton, I'm just going to put some more acetone on the existing piece and use the cleaner side against my nail and stick the little clamp back on. So it really can depend from nail to nail. And yeah, I'm just going to continue on with the rest of this hand, and I like to get one hand at least mostly finished before moving on to the next. Oh, worth mentioning, I do have a few patches. I was patch free for quite a while, and right before I put this manicure on, I had a couple of very klutzy accidents. I've noticed a little bit of difference on how it applies over patches, but obviously having to soak it off with acetone, your patches, if you have them, are also going to come off. So this one, the gel polish came off mostly, but now I need to finish soaking the patch off. Okay, 10 more minutes later, I should be able to finish this. Start off with the pinky again, and see if this is ready to come off yet. This pinky is really being super stubborn. That's the one thing with taking this off. Like some nails will be quicker than others, and it's hard not to get impatient with the others and try to rush things. I'm just going to stick the cotton back on, stick the clamp back on, move on to the next nail. Here you can see on my ring finger, it's clean. So it can take, like I said, just different amounts of times depending on each nail. So I'm going to move on to the others. And it's just a combination of soaking and gently scraping. The key word being gently. You don't want to gouge your nail bed or do any damage. You just want to clean it off. So, I mean, if you guys have questions, certainly leave them down in the comments. I've only done this 3 times, so I'm no expert, but these are the basics. So I'm going to finish off this hand and then move on to my other hand. This nail, you can see that was just the patch that I pulled off. I've still got just a little corner here that's kind of sticking on, and there's the last of that. You can see the California mango that I used, for the most part, kept my hands from getting super dry. That's optional, but I do recommend it. So I finished soaking the gel off of both hands, and my nails definitely do need a little work, but you can see that there's no damage from the gel. As long as you're patient and you don't try to like gouge it off your nail or, you know, chip it off without using any acetone, or file the whole thing off and start filing into your nail bed. from what I can see, you really shouldn't have any problems. But like I mentioned, this is only the third time I've done a gel manicure. If you were to wear them constantly back to back to back, you might have different results. But personally, this is the longest I've ever worn a manicure, and I don't see myself doing it again unless I go on another long vacation, because I just got really sick of it, and toward the end when it did start chipping, it was very frustrating. The next step for me is going to be to exfoliate my hands and just get my cuticles a little softer so I can push them back. I like Zoya's Sugar Scrub. I'm actually not sure if they have this particular scent anymore, but I'm going to go ahead and do that, push my cuticles back, and file them a little bit, and then I'll come back and talk about naked nails a little bit more. This is after exfoliating and pushing back my cuticles and cuticle oil and lotion, and my nails feel so much happier. I've had a few viewers ask why I don't do naked nail updates at the beginning of each of my tutorials anymore, and it kind of just started feeling repetitive to me. It was like the same old story. I'd have patches, I'd grow them out, my nails would be fine for a little while, and then I'd do something stupid and get another break or a crack or, some kind of injury to my nail that would require more patches. So, for example, on these two nails, I broke off the corners while I was packing, and then on these two nails, not sure if you can see, I've got them glued down. I don't have any patches yet, but there's a tear right here on the corner, and there's a tear right here on the corner. And I did both of those while I was packing because my suitcase was crammed so full. I really had a hell of a time even getting it zipped. But it seems to be a tradition to break a nail when I'm on vacation, and I got through almost the entire thing. And then last day broke two nails, so that was not fun. They're so low that I don't really want to cut my nails that low, so I'm probably going to patch them in the morning. But yeah, that's kind of the state of my nails right now. I also have a pretty bad break on this thumb. It's glued down right now, but it's basically right at the free edge. So hopefully after I grow these out, I can be a little bit more careful. I don't have any more travel planned, at least until next year. But if you have any questions, like I said earlier, feel free to leave a comment down below. If you want to see my usual routine, you can check out my nail maintenance video. That's in the tips and tricks playlist. And I've switched out a couple of the products that I use. I don't, religiously stick with just like one kind of lotion or anything like that. But my basic routine is still the same. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for lots of Halloween designs coming up this month. And be sure to subscribe to see the fan choices that you guys voted on. Hopefully you voted. And as always, thanks for watching.